All right, so title your notes, slope-intercept form. Our objective for today, I can write and graph a linear equation using slope and y-intercept. Let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I can write and graph a linear equation using the slope and y-intercept. So far, we've covered graphing, is that correct? We know what linear equations are. We introduced slope, and we've seen y-intercept. But today I want to focus on a form called slope-intercept form. So that's what we need in our Fourier model. Slope-intercept form. Definition. A special type of linear relationship that can be written in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and plus b is the constant, also known as the y-intercept. So once again, slope-intercept form, a special type of linear relationship that can be written in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and plus b is the constant, also known as the y-intercept. So what I do want you to keep in your noodle is the form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. 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 Y equals mx plus b. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Oliver, tell everybody the slope-intercept form.
Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b.
Thank you.
Yay.
Copy these examples, what they look like with numbers. Here we go. Y equals x plus 1. Y equals 3x minus 2. Y equals negative 2x plus 3. Y equals 3/4 x minus 5. 5x plus 2 equals y. And the last example, y equals 4x. All of those are slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Tell your neighbor the slope-intercept form. Very good. Because earlier somebody turned and they're like, I don't know. Be nice. All right. Are we there so far? So, check this out. Pens down really quick. Let me show you a couple things to make sure that you see what I see. So, all of these are representing this form. And the reason that we need this form so that we know and identify the slope and the y-intercept once given the equation. So check this out. So I'm going to do this. Cancel. Let's say I took this equation, and I'm going to overlay that here. Check this out. Look up, please. So first of all, you need to look at what are the things or the parts of the equation that stay the same. What do you guys notice are the same? The y, the equal sign, and the x. Therefore, according to the form, this m, which is the slope, corresponds to what? 3. That's why my slope for this equation is 3. Therefore, plus b, which is our y-intercept, is negative 2. Fairly simple? Yeah, right? So with that said, look at this equation down here. What would be our slope and what would be our y-intercept? Talk it over with your neighbor. Okay, so our slope, I heard, is -2, and my y-intercept is +3. Is that correct? Okay. But remember that we said that we want the slope in fraction form. So how can we write -2 in fraction form? -2/1. So my slope for this one would be -2/1, and my y-intercept is 3. All right. So with that said, look up, please. Look at this one and tell your neighbor the slope and the y-intercept. All right. How about, let's see if I can throw a little curveball at you. Look at this one. Don't say it out loud first. Look at it. Okay. Think about the slope and think about the y-intercept. Tell your neighbor what they are. Okay. Our slope is, hands if you said 4. Close. I said in fraction form is 4/1. Our y-intercept is 0 is correct. When there's nothing there, it's 0. Some of you said 1. 1 only qualifies when there's a variable because there's a coefficient if there's no number there. Does that make sense? All right. So any questions with those? We're good, right? So now let me show you what non-examples look like. Here they go. Copy these down. 4x plus 2y equals 8. Y equals 3 minus 2x. And y equals -5 plus 3/4 x. So these are not slope-intercept form. So look at the first non-example. Think about why that's not. And look at the last two non-examples. Why are those not slope-intercept form? Talk it over with your neighbor, please. This one is called standard form. Who remembers that? Make sure you know your forms, because when we get to the last part of this module, we're going to need to understand which forms we've seen so far. So yeah, this is not a slope-intercept form because it's in standard form. So how about these two? Why are these not examples of slope-intercept form? Noemi. Close. This is called slope-intercept form, because what came first here? And what came at the end? Intercept. So why would these not be slope-intercept form? Because they're switched. Who saw that the slope is at the end and the y-intercept first? So what would this be called if you were to give it a name? Internet slope form? Yeah, right? Kinda? That's why we're not using these as slope-intercept form. That is correct. So this always comes first, and the constant always goes last. The slope always comes first. The constant always goes last. Yes. You can. I mean, you can change it, but I'm saying I'm just trying to show you the different views of slope-intercept form. Okay? So with that said, critical attributes. Write these down, please. They have to be a two-variable y-form equation, and they have to be written in the slope first and the constant last, which is our y-intercept. Copy that. Copy these steps right underneath your FAIR model. Only 5 steps. Number 1, solve for y and write an equation in slope-intercept form. Step 2, identify and plot the y-intercept. Step 3, identify and use the slope to plot points. Step 4, graph your line. So as you're taking notes, these first 4 steps are for graphing, if you want to label it, for graphing. However, to write an equation is step 5. Step 5 is to write an equation in slope-intercept form. How do we do that? We write the form and substitute the given values. So step 5 is only to write an equation. What kind of equation? Slope-intercept form. And how do you do that? Write the form and substitute the given values. Copy that, please. Okay, so we have our steps. And once again, steps 1 through 4 is for graphing. Step 5 is to write an equation. Okay? Because right now I'm going to give you some problems that have 2 different things to be done in one. Okay, so I want you to make sure you understand how to distinguish one from the other. So, a reminder. Whenever you are given a slope as a whole number, such as this one, you write it as I'm sorry, not a whole number, as an integer. You write it as a fraction form by writing it over 1. Is that correct? So if I was to give you the slope being 4, then the slope will be what? 4 over 1. Everybody got that? All right. So with that said, get the big graph in front of you, please. The big graph paper. The big graph paper, and on the top left of the big graph paper, tell your neighbor what I just said. So, top left, copy this down, please. On the top left of your big graph paper, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see the instructions. Write example 1A and write an equation and graph the line given the slope and y-intercept, period. Then they say slope equals -2/5, semicolon, y-intercept equals 4. So that's what you need to write on the top left of your big graph. Copy that, please. Now, as you're writing your problem down, notice that they're asking us to do 2 things. The first thing I'm going to underline with blue. They're asking us to write an equation. So I'm going to label that. That's the first thing they're asking me to do. The second thing they're asking me to do is to graph the line. I'm going to write a little 2. Why? So I can distinguish the 2 things that they're asking me to do. So far, so good? All right. So what is the first thing they're asking us to do on this problem? Write an equation. So according to the 5 steps that I gave you, which step did I say was specifically to write an equation? Very good. Number 5. So, can you read us number 5, Oliver?
Write a slope-intercept form equation. Write the form and substitute values given.
Okay, so to write an equation in slope-intercept form, write the form. What is the form? By now I hope you already know it. What is our form? So let's write it right underneath. Y equals mx plus b. But the last part of that step 5 says substitute the given values. What are the given values that they give us? The slope is what? So instead of m, we're going to write -2/5. And instead of b, I'm going to write +4. I bring everything else down. The y, the equal, and the x. And we are done. This is our slope-intercept form equation. Fairly simple? Yeah, right? So, we're done with the first part. What is the second part that they're asking us to do? Graph the line. So I need you guys to focus on this one. Pens down really quick. Let me go over this part. So, to graph the line, I'm going to follow the steps that I gave you. It's 4 steps. Can you read us step 1, Marissa? Is this equation already solved for y? It's not? Yes, it's y equals. It's already solved for y. Is it written in slope-intercept form? Yes, so that's step 1. Step 2. Can you read step 2, Marissa?
Identify and
So I'm going to identify the y-intercept, which is positive 4, and I'm going to plot that on my coordinate plane. Y-intercept is on the y-axis. So where's y4? Right there. So do the same, please. Plot your y-intercept. Step number 3. Marissa. Identify and use a slope to plot points. So pens down, and this is where I want you to pay attention to this part. I'm going to use a slope, and the slope tells me that it's a negative slope. That means I'm going to take 2 steps down and 5 to the right. How many steps down? 2 and 5 to the right. But where do I start? At the point I already plotted. So watch. Starting here. 2 steps down, 1, 2, 5 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I plot my point. And guess what? I do it again from this point. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do that yourself, please. And then after that, use your rulers and graph your line, which is step 4. Yes?
Where's M? What's the phone number?
That's where we're going. So here's my line. Make sure you draw your line. Sketch your line with your ruler, nice and straight like mine. Make sure it goes through all the points. How we doing? Good, right? So there was a question earlier. The question was, what if the slope wasn't in fraction form and it was a whole number or an integer? What did we say we do?
Put it over 1.
Write it over 1, and that's how it's going to tell us how many steps to the right. Everybody with me? Okay, so let's see what we did here. It said, write an equation. Did we do that? Yes, we wrote y equals mx plus b, substituted values. Did we graph the line? Yes, we plotted our y-intercept, used the slope to plot points, and then we graphed our line. Got it? On the right-hand side of the big coordinate plane, I want you to write this next example. You don't have to write the instructions anymore because you already have it. I just want you to write the slope and the y-intercept. See if you can do this one by yourself. Here we go. Example 1b. Let me zoom in on the top right of your graph paper. Example 1b. Once again, you don't need to write the instructions. You already have them. But I want you to write the slope equals 4, y-intercept -6. So write me the equation in slope-intercept form and then graph your line, please. Do that by yourself. Go. You have 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. Hopefully they did this. Y equals mx plus b. From them they wrote y equals 4 over 1x minus 6. Hands if you got that. Y in fraction form because we need it to plot our points. Okay? So let's graph that. Let me zoom out. Alright, so first step, we need to make sure it's in slope-intercept form. Yes. Step 2, identify and plot the y-intercept. Y-intercept is -6, which is down here. Okay. From there, I use my slope to plot points. That means 4 steps up, 1 to the right from this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to the right. I'm going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to the right. I'm going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to the right. And I'm going to do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to the right. And I'm going to graph my line. Make sure it goes through all the points like mine. Boom. Arrows at the end, please. Show me with your fingers how comfortable you are with these. 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. Okay, I got some 5s, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4s. Some of you have weird fingers. Alright. Alright, thank you. Alright. So, turn it over on the little graph in the back. I want you to do this one by yourself. Here it goes. Example 1C. Because I want to see if you know what you're doing. Here we go. Once again, you don't need the instructions. You already have them. Example 1c, here's a slope is 2, y-intercept -3. Write your equation and graph your line, please. Example 1c, slope is 2, y-intercept -3. Write your equation and graph your line. Go. Okay, let's see. What's your slope-intercept form equation, Alan?
Y equals 2/1x minus 2.
Hands, have you got that? That is correct. And the graph should be like this. Let's see. We started at -3. Our slope tells us to go up 2 steps and 1 to the right, 2 up, 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 1 to the right, and then you graph your line going through those points. Hands, have you got that? Okay, that is correct. Yeah. I want you at least to plot 3 to 4 points, because I want you to practice using the slope. Okay? Alright, so now look at this next one. I don't want you to graph it, but I want you to think about the equation. By now your noodle should do that automatically. Look up, please. Example 1D. Don't write this down. Slope is -2/3. Y-intercept is 1. Think about the equation. Tell your neighbor the equation. That is correct. Y equals -2/3 x plus 1. Hands, if you got that. All right. So we got this down. Now go back to your Cornell notes really quick and copy this problem. Example 2A. Example 2A is just using different words for one part which we already know how to do. What does it say? Example 2A says, write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form with slope 1/4 and y-intercept 4. By now you should know what the equation is, right? But write the instructions so you can have the different ways that they're going to present it in case you read it differently. Copy that, please, and then we'll go over it. So, like I said, you should know how to write your equation by now. So tell your neighbor the equation, please. Y equals 1/4 x plus 4. That is correct. And but this is where I'm going. Look at this next example. Copy this one, example 3A. You don't have to copy the instructions. It's the same one. But I want you to copy the information that they give us. A slope, and then they give us a point. So, to write an equation, what would be the first thing we write? Everyone. Y equals mx plus b. Okay. Next, we substitute values. What are my values? The slope is 2. For right now, I'm going to leave it like this because I still haven't finished my equation. However, do they give us the y-intercept?
No.
Do they give us a y-intercept? No, but they give us a point. Do they have values in these points? What are they? X and y. Therefore, watch. To solve for b, I need to substitute these values also in here. What is x? 3. What is y? 4. And I bring down the plus b. And now we're going to solve for b, because we need b, don't we, to write our equation? Yeah? Okay, so let's solve. What is 2 times 3? 6. So this is 4 equals 6 plus b. Are we done solving for b? What do I do? Minus 6 minus 6. So we're left with -2 equals b. Do we have now enough information to write our equation?
Yes.
Yes, so once again, we write, well, we already have it here. Y equals, what is our slope? 2/1 x. And what is our y-intercept? -2. See what we did there? Pretty cool, huh? Yes? Okay. Questions, comments, autographs? No? Okay. Let's do another one. Example 3B. Copy the information only. You don't have to copy all the instructions. So what information do they give us? The slope is what? 8. And what point do they give us? 3, -1. So write me an equation given that information. Go. Okay, so to write our equation, what would be the first thing we do? Isaac. Y equals mx plus b. That is correct. Second thing we do, Isaac. Substitute the given values. What do they give us? The slope is what? 8. Do they give us a y-intercept? But what do they give us? A point, which is an x value and a y value. So what is x? And what is y? And then I bring down the plus b. Are we there so far? Okay, let's simplify. What is 8 times 3? That's 24. Bring down the plus b. And what do we do here? Subtract 24, subtract 24. So this is -25 equals b. Do we have enough information now? Yes. So what is our equation, Isaac?
Y equals 8/1x minus 25.
Hands if you got that. That is correct. Everybody got it? Okay, and the last one. Copy this one down. Example 4A. 4A. Let's see. Copy this one on your Cornell note. I was going to have you copy it on the graph, but look, it's the same example or the instructions as the graphing that we've been doing. This one they're asking us to write an equation and to graph. You see how it's the same instructions from the first ones that we did? But I want you to write this equation down. 2y equals 3x equals 6. I know. So check this out. By looking at it, is that in slope-intercept form? What do we need to do? Bam! Solve for y. Minus 3x. Minus 3x. We're left with 2y equals -3x plus 6. From there we divide by 2. Divide by 2. Y equals -3/2x. 6 divided by 2 is +3. Is this a slope-intercept form equation?
Yes.
Do we know how to graph after this?
Yes.
Yes. So therefore, our home plate for tonight is found on pages 184 through 185. There's tutoring today, guys. If I don't see you, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your home plate. I'll turn in my rulers on your way out in the second drawer. Bye.